Hey guys, Pope Sano here, back with patch 13.19 review, which this is going to be a really interesting patch because this is the Worlds patch. Officially, the Worlds patch is here, guys. So a few things about that, though. That typically means that the changes in this patch are going to be competitive focused, and I think we will definitely see that. But I think it's important to know what changes are coming into the game if we want to stay up on the meta, and what champions are strong, what champions are weak, what items are getting changed, all the sort. So let's get right into it here. As you can see, the nerf and buff list is here. There's a few system changes going on as well. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Azir, as we know, Azir deserves nerfs, guys. If we actually take a look, if I go like this, because, you know, Azir's been very, very strong. You know, I'm sure you're seeing him in every single one of your games. Let's see, all ranks currently. Yes. Azir is very, very strong right now. You can see Azir is very, very strong right now. And, yeah. Anyway, obviously that's just a joke, but you know, this is definitely a competitive skewed nerf. His Q cooldown is getting changed, going up by 2 seconds early. It'll be the same later, but this definitely hits his early game just a little bit. Really, it opens up smaller trading windows for his opponent, right? That's what this does. Might hurt his wave clear a little bit, but in general, Azir's gonna hard out trade you if you're standing in the middle of his soldiers and he's allowed to press Q on you. But here, there's going to be a bit more of a window to not allow that to happen. This also does hit his mobility slightly early, right? But only, like, really only for, like, once we're around level 8, level 9, we're not going to see any change in his mobility, but early, this does hit his mobility slightly. All right, Briar, bunch of changes to Briar. So, yeah, Briar, the 30% win rate jungler that shot up to, like, a 51% win rate after some hotfix buffs and people getting more and more used to her, so gotta hit her with the nerfs. All right, attack speed growth is just going down a little bit. Okay, this, like, in general, this is probably, to be honest, one of the larger things. It's not like a massive, just 0.2%, but you gotta remember that she likes to build some on hit, some attack speed. You know, lethal tempo is coming out as a great choice on her, for instance. So yeah, obviously when we're talking about percent and then you're building attack speed, that does matter. All right, her Q's just getting a bit of a tooltip update. That's fine. Blood Frenzy's getting just some quality of life, like it's adding the bar to show you the remaining duration. That's fine. Tooltip update. Okay, whatever. All right, W snack attack, the healing on it going up a little bit early, just by 1% early, but then later it's going to be down by 5%. So obviously this helps her initial clear, basically her initial, camp taking a little bit, which I don't think she needed it. Her clear is fantastic, but in general, later this is going to just be straight up fighting and skirmishing nerf. I still think she's going to be really strong. Like, this champion, if it gets on top of you, it's going to deal a lot of damage, especially if it has something like Bork or Stridebreaker. So the healing increased. Oh wait, increased healing against minions and monsters. It's going to go down by 10%. Okay, so that they're hitting. So this is hitting her clear. The percent. So the execute on the W, the maximum damage is going down. So this is a hit for later on. Her clear is absolutely insane. Like, doing something like Gromp, for example, where you just walk up to it, you get your W duration off, your E does 1 billion damage, and then as the W is finishing around like 500-600 HP, you're using that execute. You're just killing the camp. Especially if you have Smite, you can basically do half of Gromp's HP, smite and execute W, and it's really, really insane. Okay, added a short minimum cooldown after casting to prevent double cast. Okay, all right, I appreciate this because the 1 or 2 games that I played Briar, I accidentally double casted my W a few times because I'm one of those people that ability spams when I want to throw a Q or something like that. I will press it probably multiple times. And so, yeah, that's kind of nice. All right, Chilling Scream, bug fix, that's fine. Just another tooltip thing for her R, okay. And miscellaneous, okay, that's fine. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, Galio. Galio getting some buffs here. Actually pretty decent. Like, Galio's R is one of the big reasons why you play this champion. But, and like, this helps his roaming actually a bit. You know, he's going to have a bit more of a window to kind of walk down towards the lane, try to ult on top of somebody that can engage on the enemy. That's always going to be a nice strategy. But Galio, despite this, I think he's still going to be gated by his matchups, right? If he has to play into like an AD, a ranged AD mid or something like that, it's going to be horrible. But in general, like, Galio will still have the matchups he's great into, and he's still going to have the matchups he's horrible into. That's just how Galio works. I don't think this buff is going to be insane for him. I'm sure this will help out a little bit, but overall it's nothing crazy. All right, Gangplank. So it looks like they're basically giving Gangplank some buffs, but not in his, not in like the traditional way where they're upping his damage, right? Because they say his raw damage numbers can't really get any higher than they are, and I agree with that. Obviously, this champion, when he gets ahead, it's absolutely insane the damage he can put out. So they're buffing his ulti 10 seconds per rank, which is really, really nice. Especially his ability to like influence the map early, and it may not feel as bad, because sometimes what would feel terrible is like using your ult across the map to try to help out a fight, and then that fight doesn't even go that well, or you just screw it up or something like that. It was actually a really high risk, high reward, and then you just don't have that tool for yourself. So yeah, the cooldown buff is definitely nice. Death's Daughter is gonna get an extra 15% slow, which is Death's Daughter is the one where it has the circle in the middle and deals bonus true damage basically right in the middle. So the slow there is actually pretty nice, because it's not only like you'll basically get the slow plus that extra, you know, damage, but then it just means they're also tanking more of your ult with more waves. So that's a decent little buff. And then raise morale, the movement speed. Wow, okay. Like, you know, if you're giving like everyone on your team 40% movement speed buff for 2 seconds off your ulti that is also dealing AoE damage, AoE slow, that's really nice. But this is like a hyper late game buff, by the way, because this is the third upgrade you're gonna get, I think, in most cases. Okay, Jhin, our curtain call, his maximum physical damage is going up. So the total percent AD stays the same. Basically, the base damage is just getting raised. Of course, with you got to add the 4s in there. You know, Jhin and 4. Yep. But I mean, let me think about this, because like, yeah, okay, this is actually decent. This is actually a decent buff. Like, okay, you get 14 damage, right? But Jin's ult also kind of scales off of like how low you are, especially like the last one, right? If you're low, it's going to deal 1 billion damage, but if you're high on HP, it's not going to deal like crazy amount to you. So, you know, just adding a bit more on each shot, especially if you're landing consistent shots, this will stack up, and then that kind of big fourth shot is going to really mean something. Okay. LeBlanc here, lots of changes, because this 80 LeBlanc builds has just been absolutely just so annoying. I've been seeing it all the time in higher elo, like D1 masters, you know, a few like 100 LP master players that I've been seeing abuse that to try to, you know, the futile attempt to try to get to GM. All right, base stats. Basically, her attack speed ratio is going down. Attack speed growth is going up a little bit, so she'll just scale a bit better attack speed wise throughout the game, but that won't matter if she's building AP. The damage growth is going down by quite a bit. Mana growth is going down. What? Mana growth is getting absolutely gutted here. Wait, what? Mana growth going down? It's getting over half of its total chopped. And the mana regen, wait, what? I thought they would be buffing this in order to make her, like, want... Oh, no, wait. They're nerfing this. I understand it now. They're nerfing this to force LeBlanc into mana builds. Like, you have to build mana on LeBlanc now in order to basically be able to use your spells, right? So this is like, hey, you need to build Lost Chapter. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, and they're buffing the AP ratio. That's kind of nice. Buffing the AP ratio, as you can see, by 5% on both these abilities. Yeah, for sure. I mean, this obviously really extraordinarily incentivizes LeBlanc to go AP. I think probably like things like the attack speed ratio and the AD damage growth, like that basically getting gutted, as well as the mana. If you want to be able to cast spells, if you want to be able to deal really any damage at all, just based on her base stats now, I think you have to go AP. Okay. Lee Sin buffs. You know, it is World's time again, so it's like you know, it's that time of the year. You know, here in North America, the trees, they're losing their leaves. At least, you know, I'm looking outside right now, and yeah, there's some trees that are losing their leaves. The colors are changing. Oh, it's got that brisk Canadian air coming through, and as well, it wouldn't be fall or getting towards fall if we didn't see some Lee Sin buffs for Worlds. All right. Anyway, base armor going up by 2. This is huge for Lee Sin already, because how many times do we see like a champion lose 2 base AD and it actually makes a huge deal, right? Like when they nerf Kha'Zix, it's like, oh, we're taking away 2 base AD, and that actually makes a big difference because that affects his auto attacks, his damage, his early clear, his effectiveness to just do things in general early, which is what Kha'Zix wants to do, invade. Like Lee Sin, for instance, is very similar, right? This base armor, it means he can scrap easier early. It means he's going to take less damage from his camps, you know? So I think this is a big deal. All right, his Iron Will, Lifesteal, it's going, whoa, wow, it's getting 10, or it's getting doubled at level 1. Again, they're helping Lee Sin's early clear out. These 2 buffs, huge for Lee Sin early. Tempest, magic damage is going up as well. AD ratio stays the same, but basically 35. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry, wait. I just assumed this was going to be going up. Oh, no, they're nerfing this. I guess they're compensating, because, yeah, like, this is actually pretty big. So, basically, this hurts Lee a little bit on, like, the AoE camps. Like, Raptors might take a little bit longer. But in general, this is such a small compensation nerf. I actually think this is really huge. I'm really excited to try out Lee. That's cool. All right, Lissandra, the W Ring of Frost. Now, Lissandra's definitely a champion we could see in pro play as well. It's kind of an anti-fun champion, but her W Ring of Frost, the root duration 1.1 to 1.25 and 1.5 to 1.6. So, okay, it's just going up by 0.15. And yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, in a 1v1 situation, this might help Lissandra survive if she was maybe not going to survive by like a hair. And likewise, this might help Lissandra get the kill if, like, the, you know, last patch, the target may have just escaped with like 1 auto attack's worth of HP, you know? So, but even then, it's like, how often is that going to happen? So I think this is fairly conservative overall. So, all right, Nunu getting some, they're buffing AP Nunu. Oh my goodness, I can hear Kesha right now. AP Nunu quite popular despite not being very strong. That is true. I wonder why he's quite popular. So basically, they're buffing his on-hit snowball 16. Okay, the base damage staying the same, but getting an extra 5% AP ratio. And the total damage is getting an AP ratio increase as well. So, okay, yeah, I mean, note including the damage upon rooting an enemy, this totals to... Oh, wow, okay. Okay, yeah, that's actually good to know. This is a lot of damage, guys. Like, plus 215 AP ratio. That is insane amounts of AP, amounts of damage if you do have full AP. So, okay, that's really cool, actually. I like Nunu's a very fun champion to play, at least for me. So, yeah, I think there's a certain EU West G2 streamer that might be hitting rank 1 very soon. Okay, so Pyke is getting some buffs. Like, I gotta be honest, I hate playing against this champion. Why I really don't think this champion needs buffs. Maybe they're trying to incentivize him being played in pro. I don't know, but like, bro. Okay, Pike has been lurking below the surface recently and not his usual I'm fine being underwater. Yeah, for sure, man. Pike totally doesn't have a very overloaded kit with tons of tools at his disposal. Anyway, okay, I'm going to stop before, you know, the Pope doesn't get angry. The Pope doesn't. I've never been upset in my life. Okay, so health growth going up by 6. Yeah, not bad. Basically, he's going to get an extra auto attack worth of HP late game. You know, based on what some players will be doing. If he doesn't build any armor, it'll be half an auto attack's worth of health later. So okay. His W, the cooldown getting reduced later. So yeah, both of these buffs are just late game focus, which is totally fine with me. I think if anything, that's where Pike needs the most help. But even then, I think this champion is totally fine. Oh well. All right, Rek'Sai, the Queen. So this champion is very interesting. You know, an absolute menace when strong, but like she's always been. There hasn't been that many times when Rek'Sai is just like you're like, oh yeah, that champion is just meh. I feel like she's either super meta or she's super not meta. All right, so she gained a lot of power with the Stridebreaker buffs, true. And they're bringing her down more. You know, they already nerfed her. They're nerfing her again. Okay. So the passive heal of 15 to 125. Okay, just going down. So it no longer scales. They've basically stagnated that. It's a big deal because like the thing is, if you on Rek'Sai, in most cases. If you went like a leashless, you know, red or raptors, and you like full clear to your top quadrant, and then you're looking for a gank on that side lane or mid lane or something, you were definitely relying on this heal to make your clear healthy enough to, you know, make that type of thing possible. This, you know, if you're losing like say 40 HP early at level 3, that's actually a pretty big deal. So yep. Oh, and they're also nerfing the maximum HP healing as well. So yeah, for sure, 100%. I think this might be the biggest change we'll see. Bonus physical damage 34 to 50 to 30 to 50. So again, more early game skewed nerfs. This at the end of the day, this also hits her early clear. I wouldn't be surprised to see more Rek'Sais opting into just full clearing, basing, grabbing your like double longsword or something like that, and then looking to get aggressive on the map. W Burrow, the bonus movement speed 15 to 30, 5 to 15. Holy moly, wow. They're coming for Rek'Sai, man. You know what this means really, like at the end of the day, Rek'Sai has less ability to get on top of you and less ability to escape. This is her main mobility tool. They've now hit her main mobility tool, her main damage tool, and her healing. So yeah, I mean, holy moly. Like, I'm very interested to see what Rek'Sai players like Inori, for example, very well-known high elo Rek'Sai player, what is he going to do with these? Is he just going to give up Rek'Sai altogether? I think this is quite massive. The unburrow damage as well, so they're hitting her just basic combos. Wow. Okay, I'd be interested to see like what some others think about this. Seriously, like to me, this is this might genuinely be overkill. Wow. Okay, Renekton base MR is just going down by 4, so this hits Renekton mid. I would say for sure this is a pro play skewed nerf. They kind of did this to Tristana recently, right? This is the Tristana treatment where they nerfed her base MR, if I remember correctly, and you know, because it was being played a lot in high elo, a lot in pro play. This is just the exact same thing. All right, Syndra, her Q magic damage is getting a bit of a buff here. Again, pro play skewed buff. The Syndras in low elo, they're not hitting their Q consistently enough, likely, to make this, you know, really have an impact on you. In high elo in pro play, for sure. Yeah. Okay, so this is a really underrated change for Twitch. So basically, For those of you that don't know, when Twitch ults, you know how like auto attacks, they're targeted on you, and like you can't dodge an auto attack, right? It's going to hit you. You just click on the champion, it will go off and it'll hit. But for Twitch, when he would start ulting, his actual, like the way his auto attack worked kind of changed, right? Instead of just like clicking and it's like, okay, it's gonna lock on and for sure no matter where they go, what happens, it's gonna hit. You could actually dodge Twitch's ult damage if you used a dash, or if you had high enough movement speed and you juke to the side, it would just go right past you. So by increasing this, basically, I think it makes that relatively impossible. There might still be some cases where, you know, Flash or something like that can dodge spray and pray, but overall, this is actually a really nice buff for Twitch. It's a nice buff for Twitch for both AD and AP, I think, because for AP, you're going to be ensuring that you stack your passive on top of people, and for AD, obviously, it's just a huge amount of damage that you're guaranteed landing. So this is really nice for Twitch. Zeri, base movement speed decreased. Okay. Yeah, I think overall this is it's not like the craziest nerf ever, but I think you're going to feel it. Particularly in lane early, for the sheer fact that like Zeri is she has relatively low range. She wants to be kind of like moving quickly, very Vayne style, like moving quickly, dodging, getting inside of your auto attack range to hit you. This obviously hurts her ability to do that. To what degree this will kind of hurt Zeri, I'm not really sure. But again, this is probably more of a pro play skewed buff, or excuse me, skewed nerf. Alright, into the item changes. Randuin's Omen, total cost going down by 300. This is a pretty big deal. I think Randuin's is a really underrated item. What it actually gives you is like really insane. I think Warden's Mail against the champions that it's good against is one of the best items in the game, in my opinion. It actually feels amazing to buy. You're slowing attack speed, you are getting the armor, you know, with Randuin's and with like Frozen Heart, you're reducing, you're kind of like reducing crits, reducing attack speed. It's just like, it's perfect for what you want. By the way, Warden's Mail, it is an insane counter to Urgot because of his W and how that works. So yeah. Basically, as I say here, this is getting 10, if you think about it, this is 10% cheaper now. Massive deal. I think this will make building Randuin's way more attractive. Totally makes sense to buff this item. I think even this may have just gone from like a good item to a strong item, for the cases that it is really good. Seekers, plus 15 armor, or plus 5 armor, excuse me. Yeah, for sure. This is really nice for Seekers because like building Zhonya's doesn't actually feel that good, right? Like you have to get Seekers, you have to get the stopwatch. Like they're okay. Like stopwatch is not bad, but it doesn't really give you any stats, just helps you out survivability wise. I think this makes actually building the components of Zhonya's a lot better. But we'll see. Alright, Static Shiv is electroshock damage to minions going down by 50. So yeah, they're nerfing this by 25%. At the end of the day, is this going to be a huge deal? Like probably not. It's still going to do relatively exactly the same what you want it to do, helping you out with wave clear. But I don't know, it's starting to get to the point where it's like, wait, what? Like, why are we building Shiv again? If you're building it for wave clear, I mean, it's been, oops, go away. Sorry about that. Anyway, moving on from Static Shiv. Don't care about ARAM. Don't care about that. Behavioral system. So basically, if you troll, you're not going to be able to play ranked anymore. You're going to have to play a non-ranked queue, blind pick, draft pick, ARAM, rotating game modes in order to get back into ranked. I love this. I think it's a good first step towards trying to get rid of trolls. Ping adjustments. So okay, so we. You know, we don't use pings very well in League, let's be honest. So basically they're removing the bait ping. They say they have a work in progress that is nearing completion, so I think they're going to be getting rid of that. And as well, I'm pretty sure a new functionality that allows us to adjust recipients of pings. While self pings, enemy pings, and neutral pings are unaffected, we're changing the behavior of pinged allied states. Okay, so basically, you know how you can ping that someone's alive? And so it happens very frequently where if you don't like someone or they do something wrong, you will spam ping their name, right? And say that they're alive. And it just lets them know that you're not very happy with them. Or you can do that when they're dead and it shows their death like cooldown timer. Or, I mean, I've seen it where people do something really sweet, like awesome, a sweet play, and then, you know, you're encouraged because people spam your name. So I guess that'll be going away too, but yeah. They're going to be leaving things like Ally Ultimate, but yeah. For, like, they say they ping their teammates death timers and the like for non-constructive reasons. yeah, I think it could be described as non-constructive, Riot, for sure. Okay, so pinging an allied information on the top. Okay, so okay, so basically you can all of these things you can only see for yourself. You can't, if someone is pinging this on you, I don't think you're gonna see this anymore, right? But if you ping it on someone else, you'll still see it because you can still get the information. So they're alive and, you know, time until respawn, their level, their ulti cooldown, like all that type of stuff, right? And all of these things, we see this all the time. They are used to spam ping people's items, their ultis, their, you know, their runes to tell them that they're stupid, they did a bad job, whatever it is. So I'm not actually that mad at this change. I think at the end of the day, like, the League community has shown that we will use basically anything to try to put other people down. It's just sad that's the state of how the game is. All right. Accessibility update. So yeah, that's kind of nice. I appreciate that from Riot, helping out people with maybe like audio or visual disabilities. Pretty sure that's what this is, right? You can now opt into visual notifications. Yeah, global sound effects. Okay, I can appreciate that a lot. Now this is really cool. The intro bot PB test. So they're basically adding bots that can do things like gank and take dragons, and I think like just use their spells and work as a team way better. So that's kind of cool. Might hop into a bot game and just see how that goes. Might get destroyed by the bots. And then that's pretty much it. Upcoming skins, guys. I've played the Kiana skin on the PBE. I've played the... That might be it, actually. Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I really like the skin line. I think they all look actually super cool. Gnar looks great. Love his little face there. All right. Well, that's the end of the patch, guys. I hope you enjoy. Good luck climbing in patch 13.19. I'll see you back next time. Proplay out.